Welcome back to BIBSTER'S Repair Shop. We are here for day one of the Antique Engine and Tractors Association's annual working show, September 16th, 17th, and 18th. So if you're watching this on one of those 3 days, or it's not the last day, come check it out. Right off Highway 88, outside of Joslyn, Illinois. Link in the description for all the information on the show. But featured tractor this year is John Deere, so I'll have to hide my hat, I guess. But we're gonna go around, check some stuff out, check out the ground, see some features, and we'll bring you back. Check this thing out. This is the second 60/20 John Deere ever made. By that we mean this is one of 2 experimental tractors that John Deere produced in order to try a lot of options out that they were going to go to when they went to the next series of tractors. And we'll actually come in here quick and see where it says prototype product development number 2. Number 1, they don't know where it is, but basically we'll go through some of the features it had. But John Deere produced this tractor in order to develop a lot of the things they were going to do, go through a lot of the new developments, one of them being twin hydraulics, independent live PTO, your warning light there, snap-on armrests, that foldable warning light up there. So basically John Deere did all of the testing on it, got it back, made sure it was in like new condition, gave it a serial number of 503, and then sold it as a used tractor, where it lived out most of its working life in Moline, and then was acquired in 1995 by its current owner and restored. But so this is, because they don't know where number 1 is, the oldest 60/20 that is, no, like I said, number 1, they don't know what happened to it, so this is going to be the oldest number, the experimental product development John Deere 60/20. All right, check these two out. This one here is 4620 diesel, as well as that 8430. Said it right. These are both owned by the Jacobs family, which Chad and Kurt are 2 of the ones that helped out put on this show and have been kind of helped me get here, some of this stuff. But both these tractors have cool stories. So I thought I'd go through them a little bit, and then we'll go through the actual tractors themselves. This tractor was bought by his grandpa brand new, never been farther than 15 miles from their home. They farm in this area locally, so this one probably has been, with all their farming, in about 3 miles of each other. This one doesn't ever have to worry about it. Actually, the rear tires are the second set of tires that have ever been on this tractor. The plow behind it also was the matching pair for this tractor when it came. Now, that 8430, you'll notice the nose looks a little different on it, and that is because that is a Kenzie repower. We actually have 4 of those here at the show this year, so pretty excited about that. Hopefully we can see some of those fire up. That is an 855 Cummins in it, and that is the second tractor that John Kenzie repowered with an 855. He owns the first one, but that is the second one. So again, one of the only places you can come up and get close, and well, they probably again don't want you to actually touch them like I am, but you know how it is. We'll go through this tractor a little bit. Like I said, both these tractors, one owner. The only time that Kenzie one has been farther than that 15 miles away is when it went to go get repowered. Other than that, they've been right around this area, doing all the work their whole lives. This has 4,700 hours on it. Sorry, it's written on the oil filter. On this tractor, like I said, second set of tires on it. Bill of sale still in the window, so come on, check it out. We'll get a little closer look at them. First thing we got to see, there is the original purchase order. Like I said, it's a copy of it, but that is a purchase order for this tractor and this plow back here. So they came together, they've stayed together. 7-bottom plow, makes this thing a little grunt. Like I said, spent its whole life right around this area. It's actually been at the show a lot as a tractor to help if guys get stuck out with their trailers. This is one of the tractors that'll come help you pull you out. Got a big fat stack of weights on it. Kind of cool chrome features on it. It's kind of neat on there.
Let's go check out a little bit more of this tractor. Like I said, Chad Jacobs was kind of giving me some of the history on it. Like I said, never left the farm. Excited about that. And here is this John Kenzie. And like I said, there's another one around the corner, another Kenzie repower. We'll go show those all off. But this one, it's only the second one done. So pretty cool. Like I said, see it right there. There's your Cummins diesel power logo, your Kenzie. He got pretty famous for doing those swaps. It doesn't have the engine cover on it, but I'll get you guys a back shot behind that engine. Odds are it's gonna look similar to that one. So just two cool more tractors here with some cool stories. You can see, oh, well, look at that. That doesn't look farm stock. Let's go check out some more stuff, and we'll bring you back. All right, so before these things all get out to the field, thought I'd do a quick walk down. You can see all the tractors, all the pickers, and so there's a whole sea of them that are gonna be out and about working in the field this weekend. A bunch of extra wagons. Like I said, it's a pretty cool operation once they get this thing moving. A few Olivers back in there, you can see. 1650 picker. Looks like an 88 maybe. It's got the same amount of sheet metal my tractor had when I first got it. Another Oliver in front of us here. I'm pretty sure those are all from the Dornbush camp. They always have quite a few they bring down to these shows. Yep, here's another 1650 diesel powered 525 Oliver, the John Deere 45, and then we'll get into the plow rigs over here. Again, tons of tractors that are going to be working, tons of tractors that are going to be on display. Beautiful grounds, beautiful day for a tractor show. So I thought I'd just kind of keep all of them, show them all together. Little pull type there. It's not just John Deere's at the show this year. Obviously, all brands are welcome at all their shows, so they just kind of come over here in the sea of all the other tractors. Get a bunch of Alice's down here. Check this thing out. I saw this and I thought, oh. All right, Flegel, tell me more about this thing. It's an Alice. I'm sure you got to know about it. You were looks like that whole boom. Pivot and scoop that up. And unique setup. Case. D15, a D21 industrial. Certified tank. So we got a bunch of Farmalls and Olivers. It's like my own collection over there. More Alice's. Let's go check out that semi down there. See that? Right, this is kind of cool. We got 3 V8 tractors, different versions. We got the low crop here, as he calls it. I think it's owned by Jim's Farm Repair in Tampico. Takes that one on a lot of drives, I'm assuming. We got 2 seats in it. Then he's got the little 327 small block Chevy H. And then he's got the senior over here. 454 in an M. It's gonna be just a scotch above what factory horsepower was on it. Looks like he's also got, look at this. He's got Olivers and Farmalls too. Beautiful little 66. Boy, pretty good. Like I said, all sorts of different tractors here, not just John Deere. Got a 600 over there. More Farmalls on this other side. And then with a real big long stack on that one. An F20 next to an Oliver 88. Yeah. Walking by this, and I could not stop on this one. The mighty 1206 dualed up. It's pretty good in this morning. Full stack of weights on it. Yeah, this is the tractor that famously, the reason why there's an 18438 tire size around. Let's get a better back view of it here. Nice looking tractor. Maybe we'll see that thing run later in the parade. We'll find out. We got a Caterpillar row here. This thing looks like it's been gone through with the head gasket. Looks like it's new. A lot of new parts on the track system, but this thing just an absolute tank. I was thinking about it, and I think the shift knob might be the only part you can put on this thing without having to use a crane. You can see on this side, all new guides for the push rods. Like I said, this one looks like it has had a ton of work done to it. Let me get the right angle here. Sorry about that, folks. If you look at the back here, it's all been redone. Big belt drive on it. Nice piece. So that's a 60. This one's a 30. So the smaller brother of it. Hand start on this one. This one, you're gonna have to. Now this one, I believe. Yeah, see back here is actually where you crank start this one. On the back of the motor. There's not a crank on the front like on this one. And then there's a D7. Now this one has what they call a pony motor on it. So this engine here, that when you step back, it almost looks like a supercharger. You just cover up that part of it right there. See, look. But that's actually a gas engine that you'll start that because you can start that engine pretty easy with just a smaller battery than trying to start this tank. And that thing will start up and you'll get it running, and then you'll rev it to the moon and wah, it'll turn over that big motor. And then it's the best 60. This is what predates, I believe predates that Caterpillar, but I could be wrong. The way it looks, not as refined, but again, I'm assuming the same owner on all three of these because of the back fenders here. Oh, they've all been hand redone. Nice setup, pretty cool deal. All right, here we got steam row over here. 3R steam vehicles. If you remember watched my video from last year, remember we checked that thing out. The steam car, I guess we'll call it. But here's two of the steam tractors that'll be working. This is Vance Rumney. Like I said, both of them were chugging a little bit of smoke, so they got fires going. To get these things out on the out to the field was a bit more intrusive than just going and turning the key and letting the glow plugs glow. It's a little bit more work. So we'll go check these things out. Currently getting them all greased up and ready to go. Like I said, both of them got fires going already. Nothing better to do on a summer day than make sure you're near an active boiler.
Other words, it's pretty much the same as the other day.
We've talked about these a little bit on the channel before, but basically, kind of very quickly, so there's your boiler itself. The heat box is back there. So that's where you put coal in the back, in that area right there. Get the fire going, heats up water. The water turns into steam, obviously. That's what's going to happen. That steam's going to get under pressure, and then once the steam's under pressure, it's going to go. And that right there, that cylinder there, is what's going to be actually where the steam moves, and that starts the whole process of spinning things. Might be almost easier to see on this one, the way the daylight is. So there's your cylinder up there. Comes off the top. So the steam is all collected up in here in the top of this chamber, and it comes out. I could be completely wrong too, they'll tell me. But yeah, so once that thing gets spinning, then it's a sea of OSHA violations. No, we didn't worry about that back then. greased up, and that's how these things move. So normally, they did what they did last year. This will run the sawmill, which we'll go check out in a second, and this one will run the thresher. Sitting there just oiling everything up beforehand, getting it all ready to go. What I always liked about these two was the steering setups on these. Rack and pinion, never heard of it. Straight up chain. Made it convenient because almost anyone can fix the steering system. You can change your alignment, I guess, with that all right there. What's also wild is the gear reduction in there. They'll spin these things like 150 times, turn an eighth of a turn. But we'll let these things kind of fire up some more, and when they get closer to making boom boom noises, we'll come back. Finally made it onto the semi now. Check this out. This is from the Zachary family out of Ottawa, Illinois. I could be wrong, but I believe they're fans of the Case Tractor Company. Pretty sweet setup. So we got a 930 on the back, 1030 up front, a little 220, and then the International Semi. Pretty cool setup. You don't have to even unload it at the tractor shows. You just park it, and when you're all done, you fire it back up and take it home. We got more stuff going on. Just that sawmill in there, blacksmith shop on the other side of that. All sorts of activities to do here at the Antique Engine and Tractor Association Working Tractor Show. All right, part of the sawmill is we also have this mobile saw here. Clint Dixon owns this out of Reynolds, Illinois. This is a 1947 Dodge Power Wagon. Dodge produced these for a lot of years post-war. Power Wagon sounds familiar. They did bring that name back out a few years ago. Obviously, we got a big PTO powered winch, I believe. Yes, PTO powered winch on the front. But what's also nice about this vehicle is it's impossible to tailgate Clint when he's going down the road because that's on the back. Obviously, it's not on every one on the road, but saw unit. This piece will move. Gonna put a piece of wood on it. Comes back and right into the saw. So we call these a buzz saw.
We would like
Again,
all
PTO belt driven
to start heading towards the flagpole. We will
I'll
have
check
a flag
that out.
raising.
Pretty
and
cool
the
piece.
national anthem
We'll
at
show
9
this
o'clock.
later.
Thank
You'll
you.
see this later in the video actually running. I just wanted to come and meet him and talk to him about it. Let's check out the interior of this thing. I'm assuming 80 mile an hour is pretty generous on the top speed of this old girl. But yeah, another cool thing here at the Antique Engine Tractors Association show is that we're getting things fired up here. So we got, that's not antique, but got another old pole over there too. So the steam tractors are starting to puff out a little bit more as they're building heat. We'll keep moving along. All right, from this view you can see all four of the repowers. Now I was mistaken when I said that was the second one. It was the second 8430 that John Kenzie did. So from that video, you've already angrily typed down in the bleep loops. Well, that's why. But yeah, we have an 8430, an 8630, an 8550, and an 8640, all repowered. And from what I've heard, all four of these tractors were all farmed in this area within 25 miles. So pretty awesome, this part of the world. You know, at that time I had some other friends that farmed around this part of the world, and they were looking for bigger horsepower, and none of the manufacturers were making anything big enough, you know, bigger horsepower. So John Kenzie started doing those repowers, and four of them ended up right here. So it was really popular on that generation of big John Deere tractors that have the repowers done on them. So kind of cool. I thought I'd show you all that. Again, just everywhere you look, there's tractors going on. Got a bunch of orphan tractors over there we'll go check out in a little bit. But yeah, thought I'd show this shot of all 4 of those repowers in one area. We'll keep moving along. We should be in the field in just a little bit. Another tractor out of the Jacobs stable. This dual exhaust John Deere D. So this was the model right after kind of the first in that series. Longest running tractor model that John Deere ever made. Actually, anyone ever made. Could be wrong. You can see that's also a D. Did quite a bit of styling differences on them. But as you can see, I'll pan around here. Just a couple John Deeres here today, and I'm sure we're gonna see even more roll in as the show goes on. So if you're watching this and there's still this, it's not Friday, Saturday, if you know Saturday or Sunday, come out and check this show out. It goes on all weekend long. Link in the description for more information. Just showing you that D over there. This is a 1924 D. It's the first year. This is a rare model. This is what they call the spoke flywheel. When John Deere first came out with these tractors, they were running, well, a spoke flywheel. That's why it's called spoke flywheel, because it's spoked. Anyway, problem was they would crack, and you can actually see on this unit here, see this right there, that crack right there? It looks like this ring has been put on to save that, but very rare model. Once they realized that, I believe they went to, I think they called the nickel hole, would have been the next series, and then they went to just a solid one, like would have been on that D. But early John Deere here, which is wild, is they technically were the same model, but there's a whole lot more refinements on that unit over there versus this one. You know, this is right when they got done making the Waterloo boy. They decided to their next series of tractors. You can actually see there how the head, the front bolster is just bolted right onto that. It's all one big unit. But again, it's the 1924 spoked John Deere D, and that's because of that spoked. Another cool setup. What John Deere is this? This one takes the cake. This is a John Deere Lance. I'm probably saying that wrong, Lance. Anyway, the Lance Corporation built tractors in Germany. They were single cylinder, 2-cycle diesel engines. And just like the John Deere 2-cylinders, they were known for their reliability. In 1957, John Deere decided to build, they bought the company, looking to get into the European market a little bit more. And so, until 1960, when a new tractor line came out, this was what they produced. Changed the colors from a blue and an orange to this, but definitely a cool piece. Here at the Antique Engine and Tractors Association Working Farm Show. Only one in the US. Come out and check it out. It's like worlds colliding here. I'm pretty sure I filmed this over the summer. He pulls with a line eye, this John Deere 7420. If I have, I will put a video of it at the end of this. But I'm trying to remember what it is. I mean, I know it's a John Deere, you silly people, but you can see there's no radiator in there. Solid block, no need for cooling. I don't think BIBSTER'S fitting in there, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the back. We don't get too close to these things. Well, we sometimes get close to some of the tractor poles, but we try not to. That's where the action happens. But I'm thinking this was a, this might be a Pro Farm, like that 7,000 pound class. Maybe it's that. I'll be able to tell here in a second. No, I can't. Anyway, if I have a pull of it, you'll see it here. If I don't, you'll see more tractors because we're about ready to go to the action. So there's another view of that repower, that 8640.
This looks really good. How much engine in this John Deere?
Made it to the field. It's another one of the Jacobs tractors here. Chad was telling me they bought that, or his grandpa bought it used in '62. It's a '61 model. Sold it later on, I can't remember what year, but basically sat at a neighbor's barn for 35 years until they were able to buy it back. So they got it hooked up with a new idea picker. Looks like a 966 there. Hooked up to that rig. We'll get that moving here. Looks like if you look far in the distance, it does look like those steam tractors are going. We'll go check those out. Again, there's just so much going on here. And Oliver's gonna be driving by us here pretty soon. So we'll let that thing cruise by. Definitely a show you gotta come check out. All sorts of activities going on, all sorts of things going on, and it is just non-stop action. Maybe we won't wait for him to come out. We'll get that Oliver later. tractor side. This one's not like the last one we saw. This one's gas fired, kerosene fire, oil pull. Obviously there's your cylinders there. And on these motors, essentially everything was easy to work on because it was all exposed. You can actually see the intake on both of them there. That's actually the intake there. The air was cleaner back then, it didn't have to be filtered. The exhaust goes out in here. The whole point with that was when your exhaust would go up, it would actually pull, it would help pull air up. Or pull create a draft that would help pull the intake. Again, instead of having a firebox back here, you just have, you guys can see that in there. So that valve down there at the bottom, those are actually your exhaust valve. Let's see if I can get a better view of that. Here on the side. Look in there, almost on the flywheel. Awesome. Well, there's the other intake valve there. Again. Crazy Dave will be the expert on this one. But see that pipe that runs around there? I believe that's the fuel line. I think it's on that to keep that fuel warm. The kerosene can run. Let's go to the other side. Let's see if that's what that is. Pretty interesting stuff. Steam tractors. Here comes the other steam tractor. The other one's already back there, already working on the sawmill. You can see how that steering works. It just pivots that whole front end, so we weren't really turning anywhere fast on this particular unit. They're going to throw it in reverse there. Reverse everything. Change the one gets tighter, it just pulls that front end over. Now you might see that the state commercial vehicle over there, these steam tractors have to be certified every year because it's a boiler. And that's what keeps it safe to be around these shows like this. So, see, one of them needed to be inspected before it ran, so that's kind of why you see that. Again, when this thing starts running, I'll come back and we'll get a closer look at it. One of the other cool things they have here is they have their whole corn crib set up. I know I showed this last year, but we've had some new viewers since then, so I thought I'd show it again. You see that lift there that's lifting up the front, that's actually running off the PTO. And that lift the front of the wagon up, they unhook the tractor, lift the front of the wagon up, dump it into their little corn crib there, and then eventually we'll get that that sheller working there, and we'll start shelling corn. And eventually it goes all the way over. We got a couple of semis on the other side, but we'll get a little closer look. But it's gonna get a little loud over there, so I thought I'd explain what's going on, and we'll get a little closer. I said PTO. I should have said belt drive for this unit. Now you see also, not only does it run the lift, it's also running the elevator, so one tractor, dual job. I think it's an Alice B, I believe, running that. But you drive onto there, unhook. There's a big dig into the ground. Get into the corn crib. explain sort of what's happening. So this is what they call a sheller. And imagine what that unit in there does is it's everything that's inside a combine. So if you put an engine on that of its own, make its own drive wheels, put a head on it that can actually pick up the corn, that's what the inside of a combine does. Except for, well, these come out in the same spot on the combine, but for all intents and purposes, that's what it does. So it's gonna take, remember that corn we showed earlier, going up in the corn crib, goes into there, loads in there, goes up that auger right there, into the unit, and then it does things inside there. Basically, breaks all the kernels off that'll end up in there. The cobs end up coming out of there, and then all of the extra riffraff comes out that tube, gets blown out there. There's a big fan in it that blows that all out. So this is back in the day when you would pick corn, ear corn, and then either you would own one or a neighbor or a co-op would come out, or someone that just was a sheller that would come out and shell your corn later on. So that's that setup. If I remember right, that has very low hours on it for what it is. But just imagine that is what is inside a combine. And if you look at that and how that looks, and you look at some really early combines, you'll see some similarities. Again, looks like the steam tractor's headed over there. We're headed over that direction. All sorts of stuff going on here at the Antique Engine and Tractor Show. You gotta be here. sawmill. If you notice that the part that makes it go forward and back, super simple setup. It runs, there's a disc that's spinning right at the end of that board. It spins all the time. And then there's a shaft. Oh, wait till he's done cutting. Got a shaft here that's got to go back and forth. So when it goes back, it pushes it against where it's going down. And when it comes this way, it's coming up. So that other disc will spin either way. So that way you don't have to have, it's not like a reverser idle or something. It just one picks it up on one side of the shaft, one picks it up on the other side of that spinny disc. Pretty neat setup. It's an American sawmill machine out of Ackerson, New Jersey. But it is steam powered today. Another super unique tractor here at the Antique Engine and Tractor Show. Owned by the Zimmerman family. They run the Wheels of Time Museum down in Peoria, Illinois. I got the name right. Yes, that's good. So what this tractor was so back in the day, we talked about before on the channel how there was like 3 bazillion tractor companies back in the day. Well, there was also the Billman company figured there was enough engines and other drivetrain out there from clapped out cars. What if we just make a kit? So what they sold was this kit that would make this tractor. So basically what you would buy from them would be this pipe, that assembly, and all that, but you would have to provide your own engine and rear end. So this all comes out of a Model A. So you have a Model A, Ford model, so it's got the Ford radiator there. But you would take all the parts out of your old automotive car and put them onto this setup, and you'd have yourself a tractor. So how this worked was obviously is your old style banjo style rear end that would just go to the chains. Again, this setup here, so suddenly you went from having individual hand brakes, so that way you could be like most other tractors where you were able to steer with the brakes. But pretty much, if you ever wanted to explain to someone what an early tractor was mechanically, this would be the one to show them on, because it's all right out there in the open. This tractor lives at the Wheels of Time Museum, so if you want to see it for yourself, check it out. I'll see if they have a website. I'll try and throw that down in the description. But yeah, beautifully restored. Like I said, this one was found behind a barn, so it's quite clapped out. It's a 1932 model. Looks like the paperwork here. But yeah, another unique tractor. Again, here you can see all the non-John Deeres here in the land of not John Deere's is on this side of the barn. Pretty cool tractor. Here's that John Deere Lance, that German-built John Deere. Again, those used to be single-cylinder, 2-cycle diesel. But it's funny, being a 2-cycle single-cylinder, it sounds like a John Deere. And it's got a potato digger on the back, so we'll let this thing pass and we'll see how this contraption works. As you can see, it's got a spade on it. That spade digs the ground up. Right there on this side, right there. And then it just like literally just kicks the potatoes out. Pretty simple device. Goes off the ground wheels. And then there'll be potatoes. Cool, you. of the Antique Engine and Tractor Association's working show. Again, if you're watching this Saturday morning or Sunday morning, come out. The show's still going on. It goes on Saturday and Sunday. Check the link in the description for directions. It's pretty easy to get to. You know where I-88 is in Illinois? It's off of that highway. Take an exit. Anyway, yeah, there's a ton of stuff I didn't show you guys yet in the video. So tomorrow, make sure to look back. We didn't do plowing today, so that's gonna be fun. We're gonna go check out the blacksmith tomorrow. So make sure to tune in for that, as well as probably talk some more tractor stories. So again, for BIBSTER'S Repair Shop and the Antique Engine and Tractor Association, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.